Hey, beautiful. It's Faye here, Millennial Life Dating and Relationship Coach, and you are in Millennial Love Dating and Relationships. I am the host of this group, and I'm super excited to talk with you about this really important, simple yet really emphatic topic. So let me know when you're here, when you hop on the replay. Let us know that you were here, what's going on with you, where you're tuning in from. As you can see, I am going to teach yoga after this video, so that's why I'm wearing my yoga teacher clothes. So I want to talk about communication today. We're often talking about communication because it's a super important, just like everything in your relationship, your communication with yourself, as well as your communication with your partner or the person that you're dating that you want to be your partner one day, maybe. So we're talking about a little part of communication about specific words that you use and specific meanings that they have. So first, I want to say something that you're going to hear a lot from me. Communication is a big topic, but good communication is not universal. What does that mean? That means that you could be a really good communicator. I consider myself a really good communicator. But if I don't know how to communicate with the person I'm talking to, whether it's my partner, whether it's a client, whether it's a colleague or family member or a friend, if I don't know how to communicate with them in a way that's going to be effective, that they're going to hear me, that they're going to be open to me, that they're going to be trusting towards me and open up back to me, then I'm not a good communicator at all. And that's a huge thing that people learn in coaching. In relationship coaching is how to communicate with their partner in a way that's effective, that they can actually get sometimes what they want, which is mostly to be heard. And sometimes, a lot of times, that can lead to both people in the relationship getting more of what they want, more of the attention or the behaviors or the situations or the things that they do together to come into fruition, to really happen, because they're able to communicate in a way that their partner can hear them. So if you're here on the replay, I want to know from you. Put a 1 in the comments if you've realized that, wow, I thought I was a good communicator, but I am not succeeding with this person, whomever it is, someone in your life, your partner, someone you dated, things were just like cross-wired all over the place. Put a 1 in the comments. And if you're saying to me, Jamie, number 2, put in the comments if you're saying, you know what, I never thought about this. I'm not sure if I'm with you on this, but like I've never thought about it, that being a good communicator is not universal. You need to know who you're talking to and therefore adjust how you talk to them and the kind of words you use. So today we're going to talk about specific words that you use and specific meanings and definitions that they may have. So I would love for you to really take this opportunity, as in all my videos, in all of the work that I do, I really try to bring the most value. What I do with my clients, the best that I can, really bring into a deep process, truthfully. I don't want to just give you an idea that you're going to be like, that's interesting, and then go on your merry way and not do anything with it. That's total waste of time. It's just a waste of your time to be on the video. It's a waste of your time to watch the video. I don't know if it's a waste of my time, because I'm sure that someone, at least, and I get great reactions, watches the video and gets something from it. But you're missing out if you don't do that. So how to do that is, first, I want you to think right now of a specific situation that you have with your partner, or a partner in the past, or any relationship you want to think about where you feel like you just crossed wires, like you just didn't understand them at all, or they didn't understand you, or you felt really unheard, or you felt like there's no solution, or you're asking for something and they're just not giving it to you and you don't get it. You're like, why aren't you giving me this? It's so easy. Like, just take the garbage out when you say you will, or and I know that might sound crazy, but I hear examples like that. So I don't think it's crazy. And I also know that they're real life examples. Or, I really like it if you greeted me this way when you get home, which, you know, I love to talk about the greeting. So think of a specific example from your life, from your relationship, and let me know that you're here and say hi. I want to know that you feel like you just didn't get it, they didn't get it. Okay, so I'm going to share today an example from my life in my current relationship. I probably could come up with lots of ones from other relationships, but I'll use this one because it's a good one, and I've shared it with a lot of my clients, and I think it really proves this point about specific words. Now, before I tell you my example, get yours, and if you feel comfortable, share it in the comments about that miscommunication, that crossing of wires, because it really helps other people when you share that stuff, and it really helps you to feel like, you know what, it's not such a big deal. It's okay that we make mistakes, totally in quotes, but we don't know always how to communicate with someone. So a big thing with that can be anything, like words like I like you, or I love you, or commitment. There are a lot of words that we use throughout our relationships where we don't necessarily know the meaning of the word for the other person. So I definitely encourage you to find out the meanings of those words or other words that you're not sure what your partner means, or you just want to feel certain of what it means. And for yourself as well, to define it. Don't go just by society talks about commitment, and commitment means we get married, and commitment means we live together forever, or commitment means we're together, you know, for 5 years or 10 years, and then we'll see, like it's for the childbearing years, like whatever it is, look into your own definition of the words. So the definition, the example that I'm going to give is about me using a phrase to convey to my partner. We've been together like a little bit more than 3.5 years, conveying to him that something is really important to me. Okay, and that's the phrase that I use. Now, I don't use that phrase a lot. I don't even remember the last time I used it in our relationship, but throughout our relationship, I had used this term to talk about things that that were really important to me. And I probably can only think of 3 topics or things that I said when I used this phrase. So in my own human brain of putting together the pieces in the puzzle of what that means, I took it to mean that it's really important to me compared to all the other things that I might say I would love for him to do or for us to do. Me saying it's really important to me, like I'll give a specific example. I have to say, disclaimer first, my partner is really not a slob. He's quite clean. I have had partners who are really not, it's just not their personality, and that was a struggle and something we had to talk about, and it was difficult for me because I'm not a crazy clean freak, but I'm pretty clean and tidy, and I wipe the counter after I use it, and I'm, you know, pretty clean. So one of the examples was that I asked him that it's okay if, like, after work he eats dinner, if we eat or he eats, I'm not home or whatever, and he doesn't want to, like, do the dishes right away. I'm totally okay with that. It's not important to me. It's not a big deal. But what is important to me is that I don't want to come home and have to clean the counter in order for me to prepare something to eat. So what bothered me was that I was put in the position to clean up after him, which is actually not his personality at all. He doesn't want me to be his cleaner and all of that, but that's what would happen in that situation, that he might not wipe off the counter, you know, with like the kitchen rag before I would be able to use it. So a couple of times I told him this, and in times that we had our, I'll call them, like for here, an executive meeting where we'd have like a weekly meeting where we talk about what's going on with us and if anything's bothering us, things we want to bring up in a very like controlled, structured environment, which I really suggest you do if you're in a relationship. And I brought it up that it's really important to me. And over a long period of time, it was something that he was able to do. But what happened was some other things came up that I actually can't even remember right now. But I brought up the fact that I had asked him many times and told him how important it was, and how my perception, I said to him, my perception is that I don't do that a lot. Like, please tell me if I'm wrong. My perception is that I don't come to you a lot and say, this thing is super important to me. Will you please do it? It's really upsetting me. And he said, yeah, okay, no, you don't do that a lot. I was like, okay, great. So I got clarity on like that it wasn't my perception was wrong. He agreed with me. And I said, okay, so what can I do? Like, how can I say it in a way where you'll take me seriously? That's the word I used. And he said, look me in the eye and tell me that it really bothers you. And I looked at him and I smiled and I was like, seriously? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. So like using the words, it really bothers me, is going to touch you more deeply, and you're going to understand that I really mean it and that I'm upset about it, and it's like on the spectrum of badness, it's bad. And he's like, yeah, and then I'll just do it, and then I'll just get that it's like really important to you. It's like, okay, what? So for me, this was a big aha moment of, oh my gosh, I've been saying the phrase, it's really important to me, and that didn't mean anything to him. What he needed to hear, not wanted to hear, but needed to hear, was, it really bothers me. And then he was ready to make the switch. So that's an example from my life and my current relationship of how just a phrase, for me it was, it's important to me versus it bothers me, showed how just a phrase with no negative meaning in it can have such a different, effect when the person hearing it has a different meaning. So I thought it's important to me. If he had ever said to me, actually both of those things, I think I would have understood they're super important, but this is my profession, right? And I'm a woman, sorry guys, and I'm super sensitive. So I think I would have understood if he said, it really bothers me as well. But for him, he didn't. He's not in personal development. He is a person who works on himself, but still, he's not paying attention to, oh, what does she really mean? He just hears what he hears. So I would love to hear from you guys any example of a definition or a meaning of a word, which is similar, or a phrase that you use or your partner uses that, one, you don't like even. There could be something they say like, you're really sensitive, or you're not sensitive enough, or something like that that could also rub you the wrong way, and then you're going based on your definition of it. So I really encourage you to take a few minutes to pause this video, although we're coming to the end, but really take some time and say, you know what, I'm going to take 5 minutes. I'm going to make a short list of the things that words or phrases that I say that I feel are not being taken seriously, or maybe taken too seriously. Maybe you're saying something with lightness and you feel your partner or the person you're dating is taking it like too seriously, or the opposite. Give yourself that time to really look at it and say, okay, you know what, this is worth talking about with them. Hey babe, can we talk for a few minutes about something? Yes, sure. Is now a good time? Great. And do it. So I've been thinking about it, and I realized that there are some words and phrases that I use that, one, maybe we have different definitions. Maybe we have different meanings for them, and therefore we're having these like unnecessary conflicts. And some of these conflicts may not even be verbal. You may not even be communicating with each other outwardly about these conflicts, but they're internal. You're feeling them. You're feeling unheard, or you're feeling disconnected from him or her, or you're feeling anything, angry or frustrated or saddened by it, and it's just not necessary most of the time. So much of the time, it's just miscommunication. It's just that you don't understand one another. So I hope that you will take a few minutes now, and then I hope you'll take a few minutes with your partner, the person you're dating, or your friend, or your parent, or your sibling, or your colleague, to sit down and say, you know what, I realize that we may have different definitions of these things, and I want to clear it up because I want us to have a better relationship. It can be a working relationship. It could be I want us to feel more heard. I want you to feel more heard by me. And I thought that maybe we could talk about the definitions and of these things, and then maybe we would feel better. So that is my suggestion to you regarding words and definitions and meanings in communication and in communicating effectively. So thank you so much for being here on the live and also in the replay. And I hope that this gave you lots of food for thought and you will do something with it. So I want to leave you with this. You and only you have the power to transform your life and your relationship. So what are you going to do about it today? Okay, love you all. And see you soon. Bye.